This is the second recording on constituent structure. In this video we're going to look a little bit at what's inside phrases. Now, to start with, we can talk about heads. And all phrases, all phrasal constituents have heads. Now, what does that mean? What is the head? Well, let's start with an analogy. You see this guy running up the stairs and you recognize him, this is actually James Bond. Now, knowing that, you're going to know what the head of this guy looks like. It's that one. Yeah. Now, with phrases, it's the same. If you've got a phrase like proud of his mother, as in he is proud of his mother, and you know that the name of the phrase is an adjective phrase, what would be the head? Well, you'll find that it's actually an adjective. Yeah, the adjective here is proud. So if you represent this in a tree, you'll have a note saying AP, adjective phrase, and there will be a branch going down to the adjective. The other way around it works as well. If you see this guy, you're not quite sure who it is, and then you see his face, and then you know, aha, I'm dealing here with James Bond. That works the same with phrases. So if you've got a phrase in the box and you're not sure, but then you're told the head is a preposition in, then what's the phrase going to be called? Yeah, of course it's going to be called a prepositional phrase, or short PP. Yeah. Okay, so if you know you've got a preposition, you're going to have a prepositional phrase, and that works for all the different constituents. Yeah, so if you've got a noun phrase, then the head of that noun phrase is going to be a noun. If you've got a verb phrase, the head of the verb phrase is going to be a verb. If you've got a prepositional phrase, the head of the prepositional phrase is a preposition. The head of an AP, an adjective phrase, is an adjective, and the head of an adverb phrase is going to be an adverb. Yeah, and you represent that by having the phrasal node above and then a branch, a line going down to the actual head. The other way around it works as well. So if you've got a noun, it must be the head of its own noun phrase. So any noun must be the head of its own noun phrase. Any verb must be the head of its own verb phrase. Any preposition must be the head of its own prepositional phrase. Any adjective must be the head of its own adjective phrase. And any adverb must be the head of its own adverb phrase. So if you know that there are 3 nouns in a sentence, if you've recognized them, then you already know that there are going to be 3 noun phrases in that sentence as well. Now, phrases can consist of different things, and minimally they can consist of just one lexical constituent, so one lexical category. If you take a sentence like Mary slept, there are 2 words in it, a noun and a verb, and you'll find that you've got 2 phrases. Yeah, because you've got a noun, you're going to have a noun phrase. Because you've got a verb, you're going to have a verb phrase. Yeah, and a noun phrase and a verb phrase together are enough to form a sentence. Yeah, and of course the noun phrase just has the noun Mary in it here, and the verb phrase just has the verb slept in it. Yeah, it's not just noun phrases and verb phrases that you get this with. If you look at he often drank coffee in Paris, what's he? Well, in terms of sentence structure, we're going to treat pronouns, which this is, as a subcategory of nouns. So you've got he as a noun, and it's going to also be a noun phrase. Coffee, of course, is another noun, so that's going to be another noun phrase. Paris is another noun, it's going to be another noun phrase. But then we've got often, and often, of course, is an adverb. and that means that it's going to form an adverb phrase by itself. Why are all of these phrases as well as word categories? Well, in the last recording we saw that they can all be used as answers to WH questions. Yeah, so who slept? Answer is Mary. What did Mary do? She, and the answer is slept. When did he drink coffee in Paris? Often. Yeah, so that's a when question with often as an answer. You could ask, where did he often drink coffee? And the answer would be in Paris. So that would be a prepositional phrase with in as the head. So all of these are phrases as well as word categories because they pick out these concepts, yeah, entities, times, places, that kind of thing. Now, you can also have phrases that have different constituents inside them in addition to the head. Yeah, there always has to be a head, but you can have other stuff inside. So I'm just going to give a few examples. So phrases can consist, for example, of 2 word categories. Now you only find that with noun phrases, where you can have a head noun, but a determiner in front of it. Yeah, so like the girl slept, or my shoes are too small. So the girl and my shoes are noun phrases here. Noun phrases can be formed with other constituents, but this is one of the possibilities. So phrases can also consist of 1 word category, which is the head, of course, together with 1 or more phrases. So if you look at the underlined phrases here, with a limp, you've got a head preposition plus a noun phrase, and together they form a prepositional phrase. She sent a card to her aunt. You've got a verb phrase, and it's the head verb is sent, and then you get, what did she send? A card, so it's a noun phrase. Who did she send it? To her aunt. So where did she send it? To her aunt is a prepositional phrase. So you've got a verb with a noun phrase and a prepositional phrase forming a verb phrase. Mary likes Peter enormously. Again, a verb phrase where the head verb is likes. Peter is a noun phrase, and enormously is an adverb phrase, and together they form the verb phrase. John is very tired. Very tired is a bit different. It's an adjective phrase where you've got the head, which is the adjective, and then you've got that degree adverb, and of course that forms an adverb phrase all by itself, and that combines with the adjective to give you the adjective phrase. Another possibility, and again you only get this with noun phrases, is that you've got 2 word categories together with 1 or more phrases. So examples here are a determiner with a noun and a prepositional phrase forming a noun phrase, or a determiner and an adjective phrase with a noun forming a noun phrase. So some examples of that is, I met a star from that film. A star from that film is a noun phrase, and it consists of a determiner, the head noun, and a prepositional phrase. A funny thing happened to me. A funny thing is a noun phrase where you've got a determiner, an adjective phrase, and a noun. And look at the last one. You get Sue likes the green dress with the scarf. Now that whole thing is a noun phrase, the whole underlined stretch of words, because you can say what does Sue like, and that's the answer, the green dress with the scarf. And that's actually a combination of the 2 possibilities we see above. So you've got a determiner, an adjective phrase green, the head noun dress, and then with the scarf, there's a preposition with a noun phrase, so that itself forms a prepositional phrase. So you've got a noun phrase with a determiner, an adjective phrase, a noun, and a prepositional phrase. Okay, let's have a look. Now if you know that into the sea is a phrase, now think of to yourself what it consists of, Yeah, and what of those three words then is the head? Well, you've got there the C. Yeah, there's a determiner and a noun. Now together that forms a noun phrase. Into is a preposition. So what you've got is a preposition and a noun phrase, and that means that the lexical category, the preposition, must be the head. Yeah. Okay, try this one. Her good friends. What's the head? Her good of friends. Well, what's her? It's a determiner. Good is an adjective and friends is a noun. Yeah. Okay, and we saw you can have a noun phrase with a determiner, an adjective phrase, and a noun inside it. Yeah. And if you say she saw her good friends, of course you're talking, who did she see? You would say, who did she see? Her good friends. So you're talking about the friends. Yeah, good gives a bit more information. But that means that friends here is the head noun, and the whole thing is a noun phrase. Okay, so I hope you've got some idea about the heads of phrases. Yeah, so remember, every phrase has a head, and the head has the same name as the phrase. Yeah, so an adjective phrase has an adjective as its head. And whenever you've got a lexical category, noun, verb, preposition, adjective or adverb, it's got to have its own phrase. Now, it's maybe still quite hard to recognize what the constituents are in a sentence. And in the next video, we'll look at some tests for recognizing constituents, which will make it easier to recognize them, to do that.